Hello everyone and welcome to another Brothers War draft. Um, and we start with a fairly weak pack. The rare is, of course, decent if you have both white and green in your deck, but I don't know anything about my colors at this stage in the draft, so of course I'm not taking that. There are some not so interesting uncommons, except for the tactician. I think the tactician will be the peak. It is of course two colors. You could splash this if you have a lot of soldiers. You could splash this in any white or blue deck. But obviously I want to have a blue and white deck for this thing. But I think I'll take it because even though there's a high chance that I won't be playing this card at all, the rest of the pack is just random playables mostly. So I mean I'll take the strongest card, and I'm not gonna worry about too much if a blue white won't be open. Here the Okay, another weak pack actually, because well, someone took the rare, and the retro artifact isn't a good card. Of course, this is basically unplayable. So now I'm gonna look through the uncommons, and this is a bad and this is a bad card. I mean, this is not a bad card if you have mono blue, but drafting mono blue is incredibly hard. It's just not going to happen uh, other than once in a blue moon, or how the saying goes. Mask of the Jadecrafter, on the other hand, is the strongest card in the pack because there's like no premier common here either. I mean, the Gixon Infiltrator is good in the specific deck, which does a lot of sacrificing. It can be a very high pick in that deck, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that kind of archetype open here. Mask of the Jadecrafter is good in any deck that has some access to green mana, so I'm gonna take that. It's not the greatest match with the first pick, but I'll just choose. I don't mind if I don't get to play both of these cards in the same deck. I just want to maybe be able to play at least one of these cards, and that's good enough. All right, well this pack at least has decent options. I actually would hope that maybe I could pick like both the Ambush Paratrooper and the Take Flight. That would really go well in a deck that has the Yoshin Tactician, but there's also the Mightstones animation, which requires a little bit more things from your deck, because you need to have some good targets for it to make it a playable card. But once you have it, it's an amazing card, of course. But this is a very easy pick. I think Take Flight is, considering what I have picked, I have the Tactician, and the deck where the Tactician goes is happy to play Take Flight. I mean, actually every blue deck is happy to play Take Flight. The Chaos Reconstruction isn't actually that good. It's very hard to get good value out of it. Take Flight is the pick here, and I'm sad to pass the Paratrooper because, of course, I'm looking to draft blue-white right now, but let's see what happens. Another Brushland, which is funny. My first pack had this card also. Alright, well, we return to the domain of weak packs because this is not that amazing. There's a Gas Cursor and the Boulder Branch Golem, which are decent cards. I think I would take the Golem over the Cursor, at least. I mean, when I don't have any good, self-mill or other reasons to expect to have a lot of creatures in my graveyard. But I could take the cavalry. It works with the soldier deck, of course, but the Boulder Branch Golem will work if I want to play with the Mask of the Jadecrafter, so it's gonna be one of those two. I don't know. It's gonna be one of those two, but okay, let's try to make the tactician work, and let's take the cavalry, but I really don't like picking it so early in the draft. Okay, well now it's an easy pick. I think even if I was green, I guess if I took the green card, I might take the Sarinth Steelseeker, but of course now the Scrapwork cohort is just a very good pickup, and I really try to be at least white, hopefully also blue. But then again, if I'm, let's say, it's not impossible to be like green, white, splashing blue, because I could splash the Take Flight and the Ocean Tactician. I mean, Take Flight anyway, and the Tactician if I have enough soldiers in the deck. But yeah, I'll take the cohort. It's just a really good card. So let's proceed with that. And hopefully blue-white would be open. Well, this pack doesn't actually have anything for any color. This is just a weak pack. Blanche Wood armor would be decent if you are mono green, but just like with mono blue, it is very hard to be mono green. And of course, my earlier picks don't really allow me to be mono green right now, so I'll just take something that I might use. Maybe like a Veteran's Power Blade could be. I mean, if I really have a high density of soldiers in the deck, this is a card I would play maybe. So I'm gonna pick that, but it's a really weak pack. Also, the 5 mana. There was the blue common. The 5 mana bounce to the opponent gets to decide if they bounce the card to the top or bottom of the library. It's not really good, a very good card in my opinion. Um, Drum, Medic, Supply Drop, Gaia's Gift. Um, I mean, I really want to be blue-white, so Gaia's Gift is maybe the card I'm more interested in than anything else, power level wise, but uh, I don't really know. Should I take the medic if I'm really gonna go with the soldiers? This is a soldier, cleric soldier, double class. It works with the cavalry and the tactician. Also, it's pretty decent with the take flight. So I'm gonna take the medic, which is usually a card I'm not happy to take, but I haven't really gotten a clear signal that even green is open. As you can see from this pack, there's no green card. These are just very weak packs. This has been one of the weakest pack ones I've seen in a draft. This is pick 8, so the following packs are packs I've already seen. Here I'm just taking the, Black Blade Reforged. The Lawrence Escape is fine, but this can, be a good sideboard card, or maybe even a main deck card if I find some legendary creatures, but I'm gonna take these because this is just such a weak pack that it doesn't have any cards that I'm too interested in. Okay, the Brushland came back, not a big surprise. I mean, it's not a good card in the sense that you only pick this if you are planning to play both white and green. Power Stone Engineer, I think, is the pick here. Annulate Agent. Yeah, this is not a soldier, but it's a fine 2-drop, especially because I don't have any 2-drops yet. So let's take that. Flow Knowledge. Well, all this crap came back to me. I don't like the Unleash Shell that much, and it's also double red, not a splashable card, and I don't really expect to be playing red. And even if I open like a red bomb and move to red, I'm not gonna miss the Unleash Shell too much. I'm just gonna take, Flow of Knowledge, because this pack is full of unplayables, so I'll take an uncommon just for vault value. That's the reason. Okay, I think I like the Riposte more than the rebuff or the Coastal Bulwark. Both are, I mean, all these three are playable cards, but this is, I guess, like the most useful out of these three if I'm blue-white, so I'll take that. I will put it to the main deck. It's something I might play just as a sideboard card, though. Alright, so this green card came back, but I think... Well, I mean, I guess I could be green, white still, maybe splashing blue, so I'll take the Courser. I don't really think the Prospector is that good. Alright, let's take the other medic if I'm really gonna go deep with the soldier plan, but I really don't like playing that card in multiples because it's just 3 mana 1/3 1/4. Not really good. The lifelink barely matters. Okay. Well, I actually at least see a good card here. There's a cohort. Another one I wouldn't mind having is the elite, but I'm gonna take the cohort. I think it's better. This card really requires you to be mostly mono red / artifacts, and of course I'm nowhere close to that, so that's not a card I'm choosing here. If I had more reasons to be green, I might take the Sprite, but even then the cohort is really good, so I'm just gonna take that and I'd be happy about that pick. Come on. Alright, well, it's not a useless pack. Guardian Sprite would still be an option if I'm gonna consider the green. The only reasons to consider green here is actually only the Mask of the Jade Crafter. I don't have any other reason to be green, so I'm not going to actually... I'm just cutting the green for now. And I'm gonna try to be blue-white, even though these are splashable cards, but the Combat Courier is gonna be a good card regardless. And yeah, I'm basically picking the Combat Courier over the Argotian Sprite. There's no other really thing worth considering because the top architect and other stuff here just don't suit. I mean, this is just not a good card, and the other cards are wrong colors, so I'm gonna take the Courier here. And then I get an epic confrontation. Okay, there's a recommission. I might just take that. Yeah, because I guess the main idea in this draft is that blue isn't very open. I have two good blue cards, but they are the only blue cards I have. Well, I suppose I have the unearthed blue now as well, but I could have been also green white. I think white. I'm not gonna. Well, there's nothing that amazing from white either, but I mean, I need to play some colors, and it's already pack 2, pick 3, and it's not like I can be black or red at this point in the draft. So I think I'm gonna be white, but I could be green white too. And now if I take the confrontation, I could still continue with that route, but I think I'd like to recommission enough to take it here. Yeah, I don't have anything amazing to return yet, but I ideally will get some. I could take the bubble too, but I'm still taking the recommission. It can usually be quite good. Alright, how many battalions I have? I have full playset of them, so I don't need to pick those for I don't need to pick them for collection purposes, and because it's a double red card, it's really not playable unless you are red. Unless you really have a crazy deck that can frequently get the 9 mana, which this deck obviously sorry won't be able to do. Alright, so the choices are here. I think the Moth is always fine. Could take the Chaplain. Moth is fine even if you don't have access to red, but the Subjugation is good too. I have a lack of removal. I think I have some 3-drops here. I'm gonna take the removal spell, and I'm just gonna play blue white from now on. Okay, well, I'm not interested in the medic here. I don't need a 4-drop. I have plenty of 4-drops here already. So I want to have cheap creatures, but I don't see any in this pack. Alright, so I'm gonna take something like an Amulet. I have a 5-drop already, so I'm not a fan of taking the Amulet. I could take a Stern Lesson, but I mean, maybe I'll take it. I'm not a fan of taking second recommission because I don't really have any good targets to return. So I'm gonna take a Stern Lesson. It's fine. And Wing Commander, well, at least I got a good creature that costs less than 4, but I actually need some 2-drops a lot. But hopefully I can still get them. Yeah, with that said, I'm gonna take the Mine Worker, which is usually not a card I'm happy to run, but I just need something I can play on turn 2, and this is it. I don't need a Stern Lesson number 2. Discipline is a playable trick, but this is much more important to have now. The pack seems rather, the entire draft and the deck seems very weak right now. I would be surprised, positively very surprised if the pack 3 can actually make this into an excellent deck. Alright, so here this is all bad. I guess I could play the drum, but I won't be putting it to the main deck right now. Okay, here. Yeah, well, I guess I could take the Bulwark, but maybe I'll take just the Riposte instead. This has an interesting surveil option, but I think I do want my 2-drops to be able to actually attack, so I'm gonna take the removal. And this is just... okay, the sprite is still here. Maybe I should have been green-white, who knows. It's pretty much too late now. I'm just taking the uncommon. I'm not gonna be interested in the discipline here. And supply drop, retrieval agent. I just have enough force here. I don't want to have any more force here, really. It is a soldier for my soldiers' energies. I have here 7 soldiers though, so I don't think I need them that much. Let's take the supply drop. Well, yeah, I think I just managed to pick it. But I'm not interested in having 2 of them, so I'll just take the uncommon this time. Alright, the agent, I'm at 18 playables, so I don't need to pick a random playable. I just don't want to play any more 4-drops, so I'm gonna take an uncommon here as well. Keep the uncommons for the world value flowing. Okay, the could be a greatest bummer in the set. Better than even the Wormcall engine, but it's double green, of course, so I'm not gonna take that. This pack is not amazing. There's another 4-drop for me, /8 drop, but I think it's just the best idea here is to actually pick the Evolving Wilds, making my mana better. I mean, I'm happy to have an Evolving Wilds in my deck, but I really would have hoped to pick it later than, pick one in a pack. But this just doesn't have that much going on for me. Like the Thopter is a cheap creature, but I'm actually more interested in 2-drops than 3-drops anyway. So let's take the Evolving Wilds and hope to get some 2-drops. Well, there's a scrapwork mod. I'm gonna take that over the mine worker, scatter ray, archaeologist, chromatic star. Yeah, mod is fine, totally. Okay, well, I get these very good non-blue, non-white cards like an obliterating bolt here, which, I mean, I guess I could splash with evolving bulge, but it would be my first red card, really. I don't think it's worth it. I have the spring leaf drum also to, help for the splash, but I think I'll just take the Warlord Elite. The other option maybe would be the disenchant for the sideboard, maybe like a Misa's Bubble, but this is like good if you have synergies for artifacts or sacrifice effects, or you're running, assault on playables, but I don't think I have a problem with playables, so I'm gonna take the Elite, which is gonna be fine, and it's also soldier for my, actually quite a few soldier synergy cards, because I have cavalry, tactician, and also the power play, which I might play. All care about soldiers. Alright, this pack has a Power Stone Engineer, Combat Courier, Might Stone's animation, but I don't think the animation is that good in this deck. I don't have that many targets for it, so I'm deciding between the Courier and 2-drop creature. I think I don't need the Power Stone that much. I have a few things, but I like the Courier slightly more. And here, okay, well, I wouldn't mind having a 2-drop soldier, even though it's not that good. Or even the second cavalry I wouldn't mind having, but I think the Careless Command is just about good enough. Flexible enough. I'm gonna take that. Hopefully I'm gonna get something like an Air Marshal back, but I'm not too hopeful because it's gonna be very late. But yeah, let's take the Careless Command. 2-drops, no. Involuntary cooldown versus rebuff. Well, I'm not a big fan of the rebuff. I guess I might play the cooldown after all. And here, another recommission. There's also Weak Stone's Subjugation and Machine over the Matter. I definitely am not picking 1 mana 1/2. Yeah, I should take the Subjugation, I think. And here, well, now I can take another two drop here. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. Tokaz's Onulet. This is 26 cards. But the Onulet isn't the worst. I guess I can consider playing it. I mean, the other option is to take 20 gems here, but I'm gonna just take the Onulet now. And here, Scatter Ray, Mine Worker. Do I still need a 2-drop here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I might need, but I don't really like the Mine Worker that much. I'm actually considering the Scatter Ray. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it. Okay, I'm happy to have the Disenchant in the sideboard though. Thopter Architect is an uncommon at least. I'm not gonna play that card. Well, I'm not playing 2 Scatter Rays like ever, so just pick the uncommon. And wow, this was one of the weakest drafts I've seen. I will be happy if I get 2 match wins in this event. I'm definitely not going to look for a 3-0 result. I mean, with any kind of a it's not a realistic expectation. Of course, I'm always wanting to have 3-0, but with this deck I would be happy to be 2-1 because this just, I mean, it's such a weak draft. The deck has mostly just random playables and even maybe, worse than average cards, a few of them. Okay, so this is now 28 non-lands, and I don't think there's anything in the sideboard I was supposed to play. You could maybe in some decks consider playing the mask without access to green, but I don't think this is one of those decks. I have no legendary creatures, so this is always gonna be an equip 7, so it's gonna be like a sideboard card in very long and grindy matchups, where opponent has like a lot of removal, and I can expect to get to 7 mana. Then of course this is just an amazing effect because it's gonna be like a +7/+7. Maybe if I have some power stones, it could be like +6/+6, but still a very big buff. Once you have the mana, problem is it takes a long time to make it work. Here, I think, given the my mana curve and the fact I have a couple of combat couriers, I might just play 16 lands. So I would cut four cards in here. Do I need the Stern lesson here? It doesn't actually do that much. Like draw 2, discard a card isn't that great of an effect. But usually the Stern lesson is good if you care about the Power Stone token a lot. And this deck has some artifacts, but not a lot. It is in the end, well, it's actually 9, which is a lot of artifacts, but a lot of them are very cheap actually. And if it does work with the cohorts, you know, the Unearth, let's Unearth. Well, I don't know. I think I still could cut it. The medics aren't that great, but the things that speak for the medic is that they combine well with the power blade, with the take flight, and with the not cavalry and the tactician. So I think I will probably play both medics, but I'm gonna cut the Stern lesson here. I don't need the archaeologist actually, and the scatter ray probably will be still cut. How many reposters do I want to play in the main deck? I think I'm gonna play with one, because this sometimes opponent is just a very slow grinded deck that has mostly big creatures, and this doesn't do anything against them because they don't have early attackers, and then when they have attackers they don't die to 3 damage. So I'm gonna be playing one in the main deck. Does the recommission have any good targets? It's only up to 3 mana value creatures. Elite is the best, I think. Commando is another good. The medics is like okay-ish, but still a 2/5 lifelinker is not that great. So I think the recommission could be cut actually. This would leave me at 1, 2, 3, 4 2-mana creatures. Then a scatter ray I can play on turn 2. I have the combat couriers. Yep. I think I will play the cooldown because it is one of the cards that can actually help me maybe push through a little bit of damage, because I don't see many easy ways to push through here. Yeah, this definitely seems like a weak deck, but how can I improve it? I mean, I don't see many ways to improve it. Maybe like playing a Black Blade Reforged in the main deck to have like an actual good way to push through if the game goes long, but I still prefer to have it as a sideboard card. This format has a lot of aggressive decks, and I definitely don't have time to equip this thing against any aggressive decks, and I have good cards against aggressive decks like the Medic. But the Black Blade Reforged is a card I think it's a realistic card to sideboard in some matchups, but I like to have this main deck. Now I have one Unearth red thing, so I could play like one mountain with the Evolving Wilds, but I think it's not worth messing with my mana. If I had 2 red Unearths, maybe then, but I don't think I'm gonna bother with just one. The Moth will do its thing, and then when it's in the graveyard, then I don't care about it anymore. Alright, so let's take the Evolving Wilds. So this is a 16 land deck for sure. And I have, I guess, more white. I have more white and also a double caster white, so it's easy to play 8 plains, 7 islands here, in addition to the Evolving Wilds. But yeah, let's hope to get 2 match wins. I would be very happy to get 3, and it's not impossible, of course. It's there's also some randomness and variance involved whenever you play Magic. So even with bad decks, you can end up with a good result. But on average, I don't expect this deck to get. I mean, I think I would on average against competent opposition. I would expect this deck to get like 1 to 2 wins. So let's hope I get the 2 wins now. Right. I guess I'm gonna keep it. I'm on the play, so even if I don't have a play before turn 4, my 4 mana cards are all very good, so I'm gonna keep it. I have 2 islands, 2 plains, so it's good mana too, and of course I can always draw a 2 or 3 mana card before my turn. 4, but yeah, well, that is a 3 mana card, but of course I'm not gonna play it in an empty board, so... Okay, Mind Worker from the opponent. Well, I didn't get anything to play, but the cohort is really good against the Mind Worker. I can just, you know, have the 1/1 that trades with the... Ooh, they might have all the things. Oh, I need my Descent Shot from the sideboard, because if they're gonna find the... You know, the third of the bunch, that's gonna be horrible. I guess with Take Flight I can get some value, but I mean, this gains 3 life if they have the Power Plant Worker now. Let's hope they don't have it immediately. Okay, that can block a flyer though. So how do I do it? Okay, that's not a bad card, but I'm not gonna play it when they're at 20 life. I wanna win with this thing. So I guess I don't mind the cohort trading with any of that stuff. Can't play the cavalry right now. I guess I'll just play this thing and attack with the cohort. Of course I can't attack with this thing because it will be only a 2/2 and the recluse would eat it, but I think now the cohort trading with the Mind Worker isn't that bad because I think they are gonna have a Power Plant Worker. They can, you know, they can block with the recluse and then put it on the bottom of my deck. But I mean, there's no good way for me to get rid of that recluse, and I definitely wanted to get rid of the recluse so that my Take Flight is actually going to be good here. They still have the Tower Worker, which has, you know, reach, but it has only 1 power. Please don't have a Power Plant Worker. But if they don't, I can maybe play the Take Flight. Okay, that's a worker, I mean one of these, but not the missing part. Alright, Traction Demon. Okay, then I can attack with both of these with the supply drop, I guess. So if I play the Take Flight now, the problem is they have 2 reach guys that have a combined power of 2, so I wouldn't... I mean, this would die, and it can only take down one of them on the way. Now, of course, I can play the Take Flight on the Tactician, but I really don't like that idea because it's a good card already. And then again, if they don't have removal for it, it's amazing. And the Cavalry, Aeronaut Cavalry can steal once I find my 5th land, can do something. Now, if I attack with the Tactician and trust my supply drop, the problem is this is gonna be 5/6. I guess if they put everything on front of it, I'm not gonna be happy. But then I will just trade with the Traction Demon and the Tower Mind Worker. But post combat, what would I do? No, I think I'm actually just, given the circumstances, I'm gonna do this. I will at least draw a 1 card right now because they have 1 colorless mana available. That's not gonna do anything in this format. So I will get to draw 1 card even if they will have removal for this thing. They get life. I'll attack here. And I didn't get a land, but I guess the courier is never bad. And now the question is, they have 3 cards. Is any of them an answer to the Tactician? I really hope that's not the case. Okay. I don't care if they... I mean, they probably will get rid of the Aeronaut Cavalry. Maybe the cooldown, but I don't think the cooldown is the correct. The Cavalry is an actual, you know, further threat in here. But... yeah, it's gonna be one of those 2. And now that they know about the supply drop there, it's easier to play around it. But now, do they have like a go for the throat now? Don't... ah, shoot down, damn it. Oh well, I got the 1 card out of it, but that was really sad. They know about the supply drop, they got my other flyer away, so that was a very good turn for them. They basically eliminated all the threats that I had. Well, I'm gonna play the Mutt, discard the island. And, you know,
I'm gonna actually, you know, the problem is that when they have the Traxxas demon, I can't use their subjugation on anything else because they would just, you know, sack it for value. So I lock down the Traxxas demon, and of course I have nothing much going on here. It was really sad that they both have the Gix's carries here and the shoot down. I mean, they dealt with both of my flyers. I'm really sad. Okay, I'm gonna. Well, I could do a lot of things. I guess I'm gonna just block the worker here with the courier. I could have double blocked the tower worker, but maybe they have a trick here. Yeah, that's a fine trade. I mean, they use that just to get rid of a thing that will draw me a card still. Okay, Power Blade actually allows me to push through some damage with these things. And it's not like they have a huge amount of damage output, it's only 4 damage from these 3 creatures. Now, what am I going to do? This is a soldier, so I can actually equip it with 1 white. So I guess I'm gonna do that. And I will attack for 5. If they attack me down to 10, I don't care. I think they will leave at least some blocker. Oh, come on. I need another subjugation now. That was a good one. Oh man. Cohort, alright, alright. Well, I can't attack into that board really. Well, I guess I can because of the supply drop. So yeah, I don't care if they block with a Tauberker, and if they block with a Golem, I will use my own supply drop. So this is fine. I think they just take 3 here. Why wouldn't they take just 3? But I have now this thing here, so I guess I can double block the Golem with the Cohort and the Mutt. And I can block the worker with the 1-1, so it's not the end of the world. But of course, them getting 6 life made any kind of raising bad for me, but I'm still in the game. They do have 3 cards, but I have these things. I mean, the cooldown is really good in raising situation, but problem is that they did get, you know, the 6 life there, so they are not 11 at 11. Okay, I don't think they want to attack with the Mind Worker into my 1-1 token here. Okay, they gain life. Right. So, I don't think it's time for the cooldown. I could tap down the Golem and the Tower Worker here. They have nothing to return with the Anointer. So if I tap down, yeah, problem is I can't attack into the Anointer with my 2-1, so I would be able to only deal, you know, like 6 damage. It's not enough, I don't think. Especially because they do have these other blockers when they untap. So I think I will do the same thing. I'll try to get rid of the Boulder Branch Golem, but they know about the supply drop, so it's just probably not gonna happen. But I guess they need to make me use the supply drop at some point. But no, they actually do like that. I'm very happy about this. Am I going to... I'm not going to use the supply drop here. I'm happy about these trades. I can now actually draw a card from this thing. And then I'm going to use 2 planes for that. And then I guess I'll just play this thing and equip the soldier I have here with the remaining mana. So that wasn't a bad turn. But the opponent is still having 3 cards in their hand. I don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to get rid of that. If they have tricks, then they have tricks. Not much I can do about it. But this is just a 1-1 and a 2-1 because the Power Blade is the card that made this into the token into a 3-1. Okay, so they just let that trade happen. I'm happy about that. They get live. Okay, the medic is good with the Power Blade for sure. So am I supposed to just... at some point I'm gonna cool down, but I don't think that moment is
yet. Yeah, I'm gonna do just this thing. And if they block with the bow blow, of course I can use the supply drop. And then I just play the medic when they take this damage through. But then the mine worker has gained quite a bunch of life. And they still can draw a power plant worker at any point. So if they do attack with the Wobble, I can attack back with a 3-4 lifelinker. Retrieval unit. Okay, it seems like they don't really draw a lot of lands, but then again I'm at... Well, I did discard a land though. Yeah, they have had 5 lands and... What? What happens? They are at 42 cards still in the deck. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're playing a 60 card deck. Oh, okay, but I mean the point is that with the first 18 cards, they have drawn only 5 lands and 13 spells. So that's why I'm struggling here so much. But yeah, they are actually playing a ton of cards and I'm still losing here. So that's the funny part. Alright. What to do? The cooldown is just not gonna do much because they have so much life and still a lot of blockers here. I can't attack into the Woblow really. Yeah, I guess I can if I equip the... Sure, I can equip the soldier here. Attack with it. And trade with the, any of the stuff. If they block with the Woblow, I can use the supply drop. Yeah, it's fine. If they block with an actual creature, I'm not sad about that either. And then I can play the the engineer here, and I guess I can also play just the... No, not that. Cancel. I'm gonna equip the engineer here because I want to attack with that thing on the next turn. So any lands, maybe. Okay. So they have 1 card in hand. They have 10 mana thanks to the tower worker and the power stone, so let's hope they don't have the 10/10 trample reach. Well, it doesn't seem like they do. Alright. Elite is fine. So my engineer would trade with the tower worker now. I think it's fine. Because I'm afraid of them getting the power plant worker, and so I'm happy to get either of these guys dealt with. So let's attack with this thing. I don't mind with any of the trades here. Okay, they are gonna want to. So I could use the supply drop now, but I think it's quite valuable against the Woblow, allowing any of these guys to attack into it. It's not like I needed 2/1 for anything. Plus I get a power stone. I have some, artifacts and abilities I might need the mana for. Especially the equip cost can be paid. The second equip cost can be helped by the power stone. Anyway, the elite. I will guess I'm gonna tap this because you can tap equipment always, it will still work. I wanna leave mana up for the supply drop, so then other thing I'm gonna tap is the medic, I guess. And I'm not going to equip because I want to leave the 3 mana up. I'm not even sure which I want to equip with it, with the power blade. Now that said, I talked about the opponent not drawing a lot of lands, but I've also seen just 7 lands and 14 spells, so that's a very good amount of spells. Okay, they kill that thing, sacrificing a... Okay, the Thrax demon that was under lockdown. And then they can attack if they want to with the 5/4. I think they should, because they are winning the race here. But I do have the cooldown, of course, which I will be using at some point. But now I can use with the medic here, attack as a 3 with a 3/4 lifelinker.
Okay, amulet is good, but let's equip the medic here. Tank, get some life back here. No tricks from them, hopefully. Okay. Amulet, which can trade with the warp blow. Yep. I'm still in the game. But yeah, the opponent yeah, is playing a massive deck, which they are doing well with. More life. I land now, okay. Kaila's command, so this gives me 2/2 creature, a counter on a creature, and it gains double strike. Planes I don't need. Gain life scribe too, I don't think I need that much. But I could, you know, win with the double strike. Because I can involuntary cool down. A double strike with the supply drop is good, but of course I don't have any evasion here. So now the question is, how do I do it? I mean, I guess I can use the double strike on the medic. It will get a permanent counter. They can jump block with the worker, but I don't mind that because I still hate if they would draw the power plant worker. And then I can get a 2/2 guy. Alright, it's not the end of the... I mean, it's not the worst idea, so let's do that. This and this. This gets the counter, and then I can attack with this and this. And they are gonna take a bunch of damage straight with the warp blow or jump block with the tower worker. I'm happy with all of those. Now they do have a card in their hand, which could, you know, cause some trouble to me, but let's see. Okay, they don't get to cause any trouble to me now. I wonder if I'm supposed to now just draw a card with this thing. No, I can do it at the end of their turn. Okay, they lost both of their guys now. That was a... Now I can actually attack for damage more. Knowing Vermin is not a card they really... I mean, that's not a very good one. They're gonna mill me. Well, I mean, that's not really a problem. I have actually some unearthed creatures. I think I have one more cohort or something. Oh, it's on the bottom of my deck though. Yeah, it is. Alright. Anyway. Why would they gain life right now? Well, I suppose they just wanted to gain life. Because of course they can do it on my end step. Now they don't even have the option to block with that guy. I'm gonna draw a card. Okay. Okay, so... I wonder if I'm gonna even need the cooldown now. Might do this and then the medic. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. So because now they can trade with the 2/2, or they can jump block for damage and not, you know, kill anything with the vermin. Or they can take, you know, 10 damage also. So I think I like this attack. Okay, they will still trade with the 2/2. I don't think I'm gonna use the supply drop to save it. I'm just gonna play my other medic, or maybe I should even play actually the 2-power creature. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright. So now if they drop like a creature, I can cool down them, and I actually have a 2-turn clock now. Well, that's already tapped, but... Alright, well this is easy now. I think I can wait with the cooldown. Now this is useless. They can trade with the Power Stone Engineer, but who cares? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, the cooldown should secure me the win. I know I could have played it right now, but maybe the next card is something amazing. Okay, they actually don't block with anything. I was actually 1 damage short from winning with the supply drop, so that's why I didn't do that. Okay, that's a land, which means I, you know, can play the medic and still leave mana up for the scatter ray. If they have like a massive play, I can still counter it, like a portal to Phyrexia. They have 11 mana, so yeah, I can counter a portal to Phyrexia if they have that. Well, they got the power plant worker. Now I can actually make it so that they don't have mana to activate it. Well, I'm still gonna cool down it, so I don't think it matters.
I have a victory on the next turn, no matter what. No, they have 1 life gain. Okay, they don't actually care. So let me see, because they are effectively at 5 because of the worker. So even if I cool down 2 of the guys, and I can move the veteran's power blade on the medic. So I have a 2 power, 3 power, 2 power creature, but they block the 3 and the 2 power. No, they have only 1 blocker. Oh yeah, because cooldown of course taps down 2 creatures. They have only 1 blocker after the cooldown, and then the supply drop will be, it will win anyway, despite them being at 5 life. Alright. So this is a massive 60 card deck. It has the the worker trio of cards, but well, Disenchant is definitely a good card to include against that opponent. How about the Riposte? It's actually quite decent against both the worker and the tower worker and the mine worker, because both will be tapping and then the Riposte will kill them both. I think it's worth playing both of the Ripostes, but I don't like the engineers now because they have those 1/3s, and also they have the the clay revenant. They have also the knowing vermin. The 2 ones are that just not good. I'm gonna cut both of them. Mutt is also not good. Mine worker isn't good either. Maybe I should actually play like a recommission instead of my own mine worker, and then should I still play the Mutt to have like some kind of 2-drop? I don't think I like it too much, and I don't even think I need early drops that much against that deck. They weren't aggressive at all. So I'm gonna cut even the Mutt and maybe just play like a Stern Lesson. Or how many artifacts I still have? Only 7, so the Thopter Architect won't be that good. I think I like the Stern Lesson here the most. Not gonna be that interested in the Mask of the Jade Crafter or the Black Blade Reforged, now that I cut both of my Power Stone creating creatures. Yeah, this is the deck now. A lot of sideboarding, but based on what I saw, I don't expect them to have any fast, aggression there, but let's hope I'm not wrong here. Yeah, I have a Scatter Ray for my turn 2. Of course, I cut a lot of 2-mana creatures, so I'm happy to have some player available on turn 2. And then I can have the Stern Lesson, and now I can also have the Tactician here. They have a Wellspring, which is fine, totally. We can counter the next player, not gonna play the Courier. Then I can keep the Scatter Ray up. No, I can't counter that. Well, also, I mean, they might get rid of the Tactician or so, but in the end, I don't care what it is. Stern Lesson could also be a thing they wanna get rid of here. They're definitely not getting rid of the Courier. Okay, they took the Tactician, which would have been quite good with the cohort, but oh well. Anyway, now that they know about the Scatter Ray, it doesn't mean that I should, tap out here. I'm gonna play the Courier, and probably if they don't play anything I can counter it, then I just draw a card instead of attacking for 1. Well, next turn I'd really want to play the cohort, so I guess I'm gonna counter this. Now that they know about the Scatter Ray, I don't think I can get that good value out of it, so let's just counter something now that I have mana for it, and then just continue playing stuff. Yeah, that's not a problem really. They can block like the cohorts, 3-1 path, but it's not like I care about it too much. They still have the 60 card deck or something, so let's see. 5 in hand, 45 in deck, that's 50 2 in graveyard. Yeah, I think that's like around 60 card deck. Okay, the Riposte can deal with the Tower Worker, but I suppose I'm still going to first attack with just a cohort, I believe. I'm not gonna use the supply drop to deal with the Tower Worker, which I mean, I could attack with everything and then use the supply drop on if they block something with the Tower Worker, but I'm happy with just this attack, and they take 3 or trade either of those guys with it, which I'm, happy about.
And then I should... Guys, gift, sure. And I think I should play this now, because I'm planning to discard the planes. But if I draw any land, I can still play the riposte. Okay, so I'm gonna actually discard this island. And now when they tap the tower worker, I think it's good enough target for my riposte. Okay, they actually attack with that. Well, I'm just going to double block it. That's actually a good block for me, and if they have a trick, I can counter with the riposte. I don't think that's a very good attack for them unless they have a trick, but of course I can punish them if they do. Unless both of their cards are tricks. Yep, this is great. Unless the other card is a trick too. They already used the Gaia's gift. This is a moment of defiance, and are they still going to have something there? Supply drop, yeah, they do, but let's see, that's yeah, that's actually gonna survive here even. Wow, because it's gonna, no, I was wrong, it's gonna still die. Well, that's acceptable. Yeah, because the defiance only gives +1 toughness. Yeah, that was fantastic. It was still funny that they had 2 tricks there, but yeah, now I got an actually decent card here. So what I can do here is just play the elite, I guess. I can play the cohort, but then I can't cast the elite. Well, let's play the elite. It presents the most damage here. Again, the opponent knows about the supply drop, so I can't really surprise them with it. Well, that still means I can attack into that. Oh, there's also cavalry. But, well, I can't cast the supply drop if I play the cavalry first, so let's do this. And then they take the 4. This is gonna deal 8 damage to me, so maybe I should. No, I think I should just play the cavalry now. I can take 8, of course, I'm at 22. And I have some jump blockers coming up if I need them, but if they attack with this thing, I mean, it depends on what they drew now, because of course they were top decking. So is it something like a big creature? Doesn't seem like it. They use 4 mana to draw another card. Because if they attack for 8, I can attack for 8 myself. Mine worker is not a big threat now. Yeah, they shouldn't attack with the tower worker, I think they should... Okay. No, they are gonna attack with it, because I can now trade with the cavalry. Okay. I mean, they are having a mine worker and a tower worker. I don't want them to draw the power plant worker as well. But this is a flyer. I still think I'd rather actually trade with it. Yeah, this is fine. It's fine. And now I have 7 mana, which is enough to do this, and then post-combat play the cohort in my hand. So let's do it. I don't know if I'm gonna jump block yet the 8 damage that they are able to deal. Yeah, I wouldn't have blocked with the cavalry otherwise, but because they did have 2 of the 3. Yeah, and actually, as you can see, if I didn't block this guy on the previous turn, they would now have to gain 3 life a turn. This gaining counters. Yeah, that would be horrible. This is 5 damage, so I can't trade with the crusher. I think I'm not gonna block now. I'll see what I draw. Medic. Okay, so they cannot pump this guy right now. It requires 3 mana, they have 2 available.
So I could attack with the cohort as well. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm not very convinced my deck is really that amazing. I'm actually struggling a little bit against a 60 card or so, 50 to 60 card deck here. Well, they choose to do that. I mean, I could save my guy. I don't think it's worth it though. So let's just let this trade happen. I can still unearth it. At least this means that if they draw another tower worker, they don't have the trio of things there. This is gonna be... Am I gonna need a supply drop on their turn? Because I could draw a card with this thing. I think I actually like that. I'm gonna draw a card. And then play the medic, unless I have something better. Oh, that's gonna be fantastic, but I'm not gonna play it right now. I hope they don't have another of those Kikis Kereses, because now of course I can lock down their team and attack for the win. Yep, that's totally fine. Now they have an empty hand. I have full information, so I think I'm gonna win. Well, unless... Can I win on the next turn? I have an unearther, but... Yeah, I have mana to unearth and use the cooldown. But then I don't have mana for the supply drop. But of course they also know that if they attack with both, they are facing a lot of damage. I still have my 5/5. So they might attack with only the crusher. And if they do that, I will just win. Because of course I do have here enough damage. Okay, they chose to not attack with anyone. Makes, by the way, total sense here. And now what I do, I lock down the crusher and the power plant worker, and then I will... They have to jump block the 5/5. Right. Yep. That's great. Because I'm gonna use the cohort to unearth. Can I win with the supply drop? No, they will tap the jump block. They know about about the supply drop, so this is what I'm gonna do. They have to block the 5/5, otherwise they take lethal here. Even if they block, well, I mean, if they block the 3/1, they would still lose the Skull Flare. But if they block one power creature here, then of course I still deal 8, which is enough for the victory. Okay. Okay, Zero Lander. Let's mulligan. This is fine. I have a double white card in the deck, so let's cut the island. I don't have any double blue. Nope. Alright, so this is a fine hand given that I mulligan to 6. This opponent has, well, 41 cards, not exactly 40, but they have 41 cards in the deck. And I can play the engineer and well, I'm not that happy about discarding lands yet because I have the 5-drop, but of course if I draw like yet another land, then I can easily get rid of one. Cliff Stomper, okay, I don't like that. I don't have any one, I think, so I guess I'll just deal 1 here when they block the engineer. There's not really a card that can make me deal 2 extra, I don't think. So they have no risk in blocking there. Well, I'm gonna discard one of these planes now and another 5-drop. But these are the only 5-drops in my deck, so I can only draw castable spells or more lands, which allow me to cast my 5-drops. But I also assume they're gonna play... No, that was not a mountain, so the Cliff Stomper is only a threat when they have 4 or more mountains. But they still drew a very good card, of course, so I'm not too happy about that. And it's just a matter of time when they will get the 4th mountain. Now, that was an amazing top deck. So I can attack with everything here. Okay, that was... The fact they blocked there is just making me quite happy. And they also blocked the... I mean, even if I had nothing, why would they block the engineer? Because that's gonna give me a power stone. Why not the mat? I understand they're not blocking the courier because I could just sack to draw, but I think the mat was the better block for them. Siege veteran. Alright, well, that's another challenging card to beat with. And then they have already the 4 mountains. So let's draw land now. And try to get some kind of victory. I don't even have a soldier now. Alright, so I can't give the counter to anyone. I suppose I can try to beat the siege veteran with... I'm not gonna beat it though. It's just... it's too much that they can add counters to everything, and I don't even have anything in my sideboard that deals with the siege veteran. Also, it seems like they have a trick, which means that they are gonna have like the +2/+0 and first strike and trample. Also, they can just take the 4 here, they're gonna win the race. But I will try. This at least can, block and gain me life and still unearth. But I need to fly on the next turn pretty much regardless. Well, I can also, block and sack to draw a card. I have some way to stall, but it depends on if they can block my things. Now, this won't be a big thing on my turn. It will have high toughness, of course, but they have the power boost only on their turn. So they can still block the Onulet. That's the problem here. Okay, I'm happy that they choose to attack now, because the only way I can win here is that they don't have good blocks. And maybe I draw some specific things. They have another Cliff Stomper. Wow. Okay, so none of these guys is a soldier, so I can't give the counter to anyone. Well, I guess I can attack with the Amulet still. Yeah. Let's attack with that. See what they have. Disfigure. Okay. It will die. Oh, I wish I had a trick. They might just block with the O4 just in case, but no, they are gonna say that I'm not having any tricks. I could draw a card, but then I don't have mana for the cavalry, so... Okay, that's still something I can unearth. But of course, I'm in a bad shape. Very bad shape. Well, they have 2 of these Cliff Stompers with 5 mountains and the Siege Veteran. They also had a Disfigure, so what... Actually, I didn't even realize. But they have 3 colors in the deck. And still 2 Cliff Stompers. Now that's still possible when you have like 10 mountains and 11 mountains and then just slight splashes for the other colors. And they have the fixing also. Now this is lethal, so I have to block something. I guess I'm gonna just do this. Try to kill the Cliff Stomper. Hope they don't have it. They didn't have. Alright. So I'm still, there's like a chance I'm not dying. Okay, I think I would need something else than lands though, but let's not get too desperate. So I can do this and attack for 7. Yeah, that's what I can do. They are not gonna block. And then I can, because I will get 2 life from the Togasis Onulet. And then I can block, I can block and sack with the Combat Courier. And that only works if they don't have removal. But now, the Siege Veteran, even if they keep the counter on the Siege Veteran, they will be not dealing lethal. I can block the Cliff Stomper. And as long as they don't have trample, yeah, I can survive this turn. If they have like 2 lands in their hand. More lands, but I have here 4 damage myself. I guess they have a blocker here. Third cliff number. What is this? Oh, that allows me to win if they have nothing. All right. Am I gonna steal this game? All right. That was. Now that said, I had multiple outs. That wasn't the only one. So I had 3 in the air, and they were effectively at, well, 1. And then I had the haster. This I never can unearth because I don't have red mana in this deck. But I had the 1/1 haster in my graveyard. So what I could have drawn, just a take flight, you know, that allows me to deal 4 in the air. Tactician boosts the cavalry. I could have drawn the power blade. I could have also drawn, I think I had mana for the unearth and the weak stones subjugation. Then there was, I think that was it, but that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outs. 6. I had 6 outs. I think I had used the supply drop, yes. So I had 6 outs in 25 cards. No, that's not, that's like 20, a little few, less than 25% chance, I think. Because if it was 24 cards, then it would be, yeah. So it wasn't really an you know, like a crazy good top deck. It was, of course, a good top deck, but I had a lot of outs. Now, how do I beat the triple Cliffstomber deck? Vanguard Disfigure, Veteran, and the Siege Veteran will be a problem too, because I have no way to deal with it, because the subjugation doesn't deal with the, you know, the counter adding ability. I guess the Deadly Riposte works somehow, but it doesn't even work that well because it's not no use against the Cliffstompers really. There's no target for the disenchant. The cards that are problems there are not artifacts or enchantments. I'm not even sure I should play the 1 riposte. Should I just play something like a... I don't know. Don't think I have time for the Black Blade Reforged. Maybe like a Thopter Architect. Okay, I'm gonna actually do it. I'm gonna play the Thopter Architect to have some way to push through in the air. They are mostly mono red, so they don't have ways to deal with flyers that easily. And I don't think their riposte is that good, because the biggest threats are actually creatures that can take 3 damage, but I don't know. Anyway, I've done the sideboarding, so this is how I'm gonna do it now. I wonder what's the other, you know, black splash, because I don't think a Disfigure is really worth splashing. They might have more black removal, for example, the one that exiles. Yeah, that's really not surprised that they have that. I have a Mutt, which is gonna actually get rid of one of the medics. It's not really that important to have multiples of those. And this is good news is that I could have attacked, but I mean, I'm never gonna be able to deal 3 extra here. Okay, they have a Junkyard Genius. Now that is worth the splash. But yeah, what I was going to say is that the good news here is that I can play the Elite now. Also, with these basic lands, the Cliffstomper isn't gonna be a threat anytime soon. I have the Cavalry here. No plays, huh? I don't have tricks of my own. They can sacrifice this thing to make this guy, yeah. So if they have a trick, yeah, it's gonna be unfortunate, but I guess then I get rid of that trick. I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna attack with the Elite. Okay, they take the 4, that's the best outcome. I can play the Medic here. I don't know yet which which creature I want to subjugate. Next turn I can play the Cavalry, and it can give the counter to either the Elite or the Medic. So they actually had no play. With 4 cards in hand, with all these colors and the amount of mana, they had no plays. No plays they wanted to make, at least. Wow. What does that tell to me? I suppose it's possible they would have just all the lands, but Trent Stalker. Okay, I think I want to subjugate that thing. But yeah, it's best to do that right now. Now they can sack it for the genius, but I would hate them to be able to gain the life with that thing. I can also, you know, attack with the life gainer here. There's no harm in gaining the life here. Yep. Interestingly, they blocked with the 2-2. I could have had, you know, the military discipline here. They should have blocked with the 0-4. That dies, sure. It's dead. Oh, crown. Now that is crazy bomb. But I can attack with everything now thanks to supply drop. So let's do that. I can get rid of the genius, which is really important. Yeah, I don't care about the cliff stumper that much. Yeah, I have a... No, I don't know if I have a stern lesson. Maybe I cut it. I think I cut it from the deck, and I didn't sideboard it in either. Now, Cliff Stomper still being an 0-4, because they have not only mountains but also swamps and plains in the deck. And they get a creature which has reach. Also, another Cliff Stomper is an option, but well, there's no reason for them to have the reach creature. I haven't shown the cavalry to them yet. They might take the Cliff Stomper because once they do draw the 4th mountain, it's of course gonna be great. But this is good for me because now I have the flyer here, which is gonna maybe be able to push through. I'm not gonna sack this now yet because I might need to use it for block and sack shenanigans. Okay, so now... Well, now I'm just gonna play this thing. It's gonna give the counter to the medic, which, you know, can attack. I suppose it also could not attack. If they get a 4th mountain, they can attack for quite a bit of damage, but then again... Okay, no attacks. Because they're gonna... I mean, of course, attacking with this thing means only that I'm gonna get, you know, 2 life. Okay, they didn't get the 4th mountain, so... But I don't think that 2 life matters too much in here. They can equip something, and then I don't want that thing to die, because they will get a card when the equipped creature dies. I think I need a disenchant now. There's not a lot of artifacts I've seen, actually very few, but the crown is darn good target for it. Well, maybe I don't go to game 3, I might just win this game and then I don't need to worry about the disenchant, but it's all about them finding an answer for the cavalry. Because in the ground I don't really have that good attacks. Especially now that they can make a Gigamole into a 4-3. I guess I can get my involuntary cooldown again. That would be good here actually. I have a quite wide board and locking down 2 of the creatures will be very strong. I have a card draw in the supply drop. Gix's command. Oh, you are kidding me. They had 1 card in their hand. It was a Gix's command. And now I have no play. No plan to win here. I'm just gonna get outgrinded. I'm disgusted. I'm having no way to win here anymore because they're gonna get, you know, the crown starting to work. They have this, you know, the what's that? This. Well, the black red uncommon they just returned. I can't see the name right now, but you know they are just not going to. I'm gonna just get dealt with. Kick his command. All right, that's a bummer that wins games. I don't even care about the disenchant anymore because the Kik's command is the actual problem. I need to win before that becomes a thing. So I'm still gonna rely on the top tier architect giving me some flying attacks and maybe win somehow like that. But That's a disgusting bummer, and especially in that situation when I had a... I mean, if it was just a removal spell on my flyer, that would have been still okay. But they got 2 creatures back and they were able to just, you know, beat me that way. This is a good hand at least. I can have a 2-drop and then some flyer and then this tactician. And also this power blade will be good. All my creatures will have, you know, at least two extra power, so I'm happy about this draw, definitely. And the commando is gonna be good against their, you know, cliff stompers, and they didn't even have one now. Let's see if it's gonna be a disfigure. Nope. Alright, so this is good stuff. This is very good stuff now. As long as they don't have the Giggs command on turn 5. I really thought they were like a mono mountain deck mostly, but no, they have like the double black rare and that kind of stuff. Okay, sadly I don't have a 4th land in here. Well, I mean, I'm gonna play the power blade. It's gonna boost my commando, and then I can, you know, attack here because I get the power stone here. I can't cast any of these things, but what I can do, I can use the subjugation, and the power stone can be used for the 3 mana here to lock down some of their untapped stuff. Well, locking down that thing isn't really that important. I forgot they have also the siege veteran. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not the first guy. I guess I can equip my flyer and play the mine worker, but I'm not sure if I win. I might win the race if they don't have removal on the wing commander, but if they do, maybe I was supposed to actually lock down the soldier here, but well, I didn't, and I will see what they do next. They might have the reach guy, but the point is, I might win with the wing commando if they don't have removal for it. But I mean, they have 5 cards in their hand, they can easily have removal for it. Okay, I can take 3 here. Amulet. Interesting, I guess. Well, I can do this. Attacking for 7 here is a lot. I mean, I can win on the next turn, just like that. I again could have subjugated this token by tapping differently, but I also want... they might have the reach 2-drop, but... okay, I mean, of course they had to have removal. Okay, so now I'm going to... they attack with no one. Alright, alright. So I can win with the architect still. Not great. I'm gonna play the architect. This is not gonna even boost anyone, so might as well do like this and equip the mine worker, I suppose. Can gain 1 life with it. Okay, that dies. How do I win here? I don't know if I can win anymore. Well, I can, I guess, but the siege veteran is making so that I don't even think the crown is the relevant part in here. The amount of removal they have, that's the relevant part. They can't actually attack with... unless they have another removal or another blocker, they can't attack right now, because I have the another subjugation that can lock down the remaining blocker. But okay, they will attack now. I'll take the damage here. So removal or blocker there, that's what they need. Yeah, that's what they have. They have nothing but land. Yeah, alright, alright. Sure. At least the Cliff Stomper is just an 0-4 for now. How do I can get a take flight. Yes, I have a take flight in my deck. That will win. If either of these creatures survive and they don't have instant speed interaction. Yeah, I have to take the damage here, I guess. No blocks. Let's gain the life. Go to 2. Stomper. So they had the creatures there. Because all I needed here... No, even... No, now I even wasn't winning here because this is not lethal. Yeah, well, okay, the game is over now. I mean, it's maybe not... I mean, yeah, I suppose... Well, yeah, maybe I could have seen what they do. I could have actually locked down this guy, and if they don't draw... Yeah, it wasn't over. That was... Yeah, I thought these were like lethal attackers, but they don't have more than 3 mountains here. Yeah, that was definitely too early, because I could have locked down the soldier here. And then I can gain life here. Yeah, so unless if they draw a mountain, I lose, but if they don't, I actually don't lose. So that was, yeah, I admit, early concession, but that's what Tilt does. But let's see if I can get the second match win. But yeah, that was still winnable if opponent doesn't draw well, and I drew like one of my very few outs. Take flight was one of them, but I could have won, so I shouldn't have conceded there. The Mulligan, I'm gonna keep this. I don't have the double white for the command, but I can play the medic on turn 3, and then I have the cohort. This can draw me a card. This is a fine hand, actually. They have a very good 2-drop, and they are on the play as well. So, yeah, I guess I'll just play these and double block that guy. If they have a trick, then I still can use these 4 card draws later in the game. I think I'm gonna trade both of these for a trick. Or, you know, if they don't have a trick, of course I'm gonna trade it for the Stone Seeker, because they would also have to sack the Power Stone in that case. Okay, I like that. They even didn't use this pre-combat, so they didn't get any benefit out of the Power Stone. And then I can... I could counter the next play, but... Oh man. I'm still gonna play the medic. It's a little bit suspicious when I have the combat queries up, and I think I can still... Because this, anyway, unless it's controller pays 4, so that's a lot. And you know, if they do... Imagine if I left mana up for the scatter and they did that thing. That would have been horrible, but hey, this is actually very good. Let's get rid of that thing and... Yeah. Chug it out. Right, wide drop. It makes this into a... Well, I mean, they can have a trick, but if I attack into that thing, they're just not gonna block, and there's nothing that I can do that post-combat that's really good. So I think I'm gonna try... this. Yeah, I mean, they're most likely going to be able to have something, but I mean, they have a stop because of the dig site, so it's possible they don't have anything, and well, they didn't, so that's fantastic. Wow. Lucky me. Scrapsmith, milling, any artifacts? Nope. It's a 3 mana 3/2. Okay, and they have an empty hand now. So what I can do here is... Well, it seems like my scatter will be useless here. Well, I suppose I'm gonna draw a card. I need my land drops at some point, so... I can block these guys with the medic, so that's fine at least. And the land drop is there. But yeah, scatter ray is quite unlikely to... Well, I mean, it still can counter like a 4 drops. Well, maybe... Well, there. At least this isn't really a big deal because I'm at 23. I can just take the 5 here easily. And the medic actually does negate their board quite nicely. Now, I could play the cohort, but I kind of want to try to counter the stuff they have. So I'm gonna play these and leave the counter spell up here now. Okay, they're gonna upkeep Surveil. No, they are not. They were thinking about it. I can counter anything that costs 4 or more. Unless, I mean, a creature or an artifact that costs 4 or more. So it's a trick instead. Okay, so I actually don't mind having the Power Stone, so let's do this. Now let's see what the trick can be. If it's a giant growth, double blocking is horrible. If it's the +2/+0, and yeah, it's gonna be horrible as well. So let's just do this. The Blood Drop I could almost counter with the Scatter Ray, but not quite. So it wasn't such a bad top deck from them because they get to, you know, deal with one of my creatures and draw also a card. 7 mana +2/+2 and draw a card. Alright, that is one way to get rid of the Scatter Ray, so I might consider it, but let's see. I think this time I'm gonna just scrap work cohort. Yeah, I'm gonna attack for 1 point of damage, 1 life gain. And I will play the cohort now. Yeah, the Mutt can get rid of the Scatter Ray. I think it starts to be... If they drop 1 more land, Scatter Ray will be so unreliable. Now they play green, so they could have a Boulder Branch Golem for 7, but they also... If they play a land, they can play so expensive cards without me being able to counter. They could play 4 drops without me being able to counter them. Okay, did they have more stuff? I mean, I'm just gonna do these blocks of it. It's not like my creatures are so valuable, so let's just trade everything and see what they have. So what's it gonna be? Land and... Well, that's something I would have been happy to counter, but I suppose I do have the cooldown. I think I need a better board before I cool down anything, so... That's 5 mana, or it's 6 if I can use an artifact. Yeah, well, it's gonna be the cavalry. Yeah, I'm gonna take the 8 here. That's gonna give the medic. They at least have to... actually, they have to pay 3 for this, so Scatter Ray suddenly became, you know, useful again. Yeah, Scatter Ray became useful. Okay, I'm not going to discard it. I still wanted to play the cavalry here because that gives me some decent, you know, damage output now. 5 damage and gaining 2 life per turn. I should play the Kaila's command. That allows me to get a 2/2. Give double strike to the cavalry. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to gain 2 life here. So I think I'm still safe, you know, not caring. But of course this Demolisher has menace. So this is a little bit risky, but I don't think it's that risky. Now, am I gonna play the land or not? It's something I can discard to the Mutt if I want to. But then again, if there's nothing for the Scatter Ray, I can draw a card with the supply drop. So I think I'm gonna play the land here. Yep. So they're gonna pay 3 now. And then I can counter like anything by the 2-drop creature or artifact. And I can take the 8 here, I can block the 3/2, so I don't think I'm gonna die. Well, I cannot counter that. I can deny them the surveil, but I'd rather draw a card myself.
I think it is also a lethal attack because I can I can cool down those things and then attack with a unearth guy, and it's going to be enough because even if I didn't draw the land, it would have been enough. Yep. So I don't. In the end, I didn't tap down the demolisher after all. This is gonna be 9 damage to their 8 life. Yes, they can surveil. That doesn't do anything. So, red-green. Some number of artifacts. The dragon engine, the demolisher, that's like 2 targets for disenchant. But that's only 2. All the other stuff I saw, not really good targets against the disenchant. Riposte. Well, there are some. Yeah, actually the Stone Seeker. Yeah, I think double riposte makes total sense because the Stone Seeker and the Dragon Engine are very nice targets for it. For instance, what do I not need that much? I think the Mine Worker is. Well, it's. I mean, do I care about the life gain or the one-time discard draw here? It's actually not an easy decision, I don't think. I think, yeah, I'm gonna play the medics here. I haven't drawn the take flight in any of the games, I don't think. So, something I will cut. I don't think I'm gonna put the disenchant. I need to see more than 2 targets for it. And the Dragon Engine isn't even such a big issue, you know, at 3 mana. This is very expensive. Looks, yeah, I'm not gonna do this sideboard in the disenchant because of those 2. I don't think I like the scatter ray. I'm gonna just cut that. I prefer my creatures here. That's it. Good hands. Shall we have? Well, it's not great, but I think with the command on turn 3 and the cavalry happening. By the way, this construct is in the soldier, but I'm gonna keep it. I might just, you know, scry 2 here with that thing. Okay, well, let's get the planes before I flood out too much. They start with an enemies there. Alright, they start with a good good curve here for sure. Oh man. What am I supposed to do here? Because I feel like I should subjugate the Stone Seeker here, even though it's untapped. Because next turn I'm gonna play the command. I don't wanna subjugate this thing because it's, you know, the important part of it is the activated ability. Yeah, I'm actually gonna. This is weird, but I'm gonna do this because they can choose to not attack with it at all, and it's gonna trade with one of my guys. But I'm more concerned about my life total than them having a 2/2 blocker. And I guess if I draw an involuntary cooldown, then it's gonna. Okay, they just. Maybe they have an answer for the subjugation, but they were fine with, you know, attacking once with it. Alright, anyway. I could actually riposte this guy now, because this will be a problem. They have a power stone. They are not gonna lose because this is locked down now. But I'm gonna make a creature rather. And scry to. I could make a 3/3 creature, but that's useless against the 3/1 they have there. Is the Power Blade something I wanna draw in the end? I mean, next turn I can only cast the Power Blade and the riposte. Cavalry doesn't have. Yeah, I don't think I can draw the equipment there. I need to draw something better. But that was another. That was landing on the bottom of my deck. I have 1 in here, 6 combined in hand, and battlefield. So that's 8.
I guess I have 8 in my 8 lands and 20 spells. Okay, let's get the trick out of them. I can riposte to the animist post combat. I mean, not post combat, but on my turn. Okay, I got a 2-drop even. Great. So yeah, I have a lot of spells in my top 27 cards now. Engineers, that's gonna kill the worker. Okay, well that's... Well, I guess my 3-4 will be able to block both of these, but of course if the opponent continues to have... Okay. Actually, let's play that instead. It's also soldiers. Both of these are soldiers, so they might be able to pick up a counter if that even makes any difference, because this being a 3-1 or a 4-2 barely matters. They have a card draw in the supply drop that will use 4 of their mana. They have a 1 power stone for it though. Yeah, I guess if I draw mostly spells for the next, 10 draw steps, I think I can still put up a good fight here. Okay, the opponent has double engineers. That's very good. I actually don't like my chances anymore for the the game 3. Assuming I lose this, I really don't like. Well, I mean, I would like to make the 1/1 token and keep a counter for it, but I'm gonna have to take 5 damage on the next turn for that, so I'd rather play my 3/4 here and hope that the opponent has run out of good cards that allow them to push through. At least they have to draw a card now. I hope they have more lands. Well, they have a fairly normal distribution of lands and spells still. Especially with this, yeah, 6 and 8. The cooldown is good, but I need something else. I can't raise them. A cooldown definitely requires you to be, able to raise the opponent. I guess I am taking only 4. I could have considered actually attacking with the cavalry, but I think I want to have one more creature before I start to raise here. Okay, that is something I think I need to cool down. Okay, courier. This has trample, so block and sack isn't really gonna work against that thing. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to draw right away. Yep. See what I have here. Okay, Mutt. Do I have a 1 mana card? I think I have another combat courier, but it's colorless to cast, so it doesn't matter which land I leave open. Okay, Triposte, that's a good one. So I'm gonna take the Juggernaut here. Yeah, I think I might just kill. I could actually double block it though. Yeah, although the Mutt is good against the engineers. If I double block the Juggernaut, I take 3 damage. I go down to 9. Yeah, the Riposte is also good against the engineers. So yeah, let's do this double block here. See what they have. Nothing. So I guess I can take the unearth 5 damage now, because this will gain also me 2 life. But I need some permanent creatures here that can, help me with the race, so I can actually use the cooldown. Okay, that's that. Well, this is a good one. Am I going to attack? Because they're gonna use this. I take 5, I go to 4. Yeah, I can't attack if I play this thing, because I have no mana for anything after that.
What I can do is... No, I can't do that either. I was thinking if I can cast this, then use it to cast this, but and then draw a card, but it's not. I mean, and without tapping the cavalry, but it wouldn't work. I need 3 for this total. Okay, so I think I just have to play this guy and tap down a couple of lands and hope they don't have anything too amazing. Because now if they unearth this 5-powered trampler, I still won't die. I'm gonna drop to 1 if they attack with everything. They would of course lose those 2/2s. Okay, so let's see now. If they have a trick and they attack with everything, I will lose. But otherwise the attack with everything doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so they're gonna make me go to... Yeah, okay, so well, I mean, my hands are tied. This is the only... I take 8 now and hope that they don't get to deal the remaining. Okay then, so... Not much. Let's draw a card. I think I'm gonna attack. Although my attack depends on what I draw here. I think I'm just gonna use the cooldown on this turn. It's not the greatest, but it's maybe the safest. Because I can cool down and draw the card. Other option is to actually just leave a blocker and kill this thing with riposte. I hate to leave so much. Let's see. This is only 8 damage, and then they will be at 9, and next turn I can deal only 7, but unless they have a new blocker, of course. I have a flyer though. I'm gonna attack with this guy. Okay, I'm gonna gamble a bit. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm not gonna use the cooldown on this turn. I have the riposte here anyway. Well, that's not the worst. I could use the riposte right now, but even if they have like a excavation explosion, this is only gain 2, so I'm gonna lose to that thing regardless. So let's just let this happen and hope they don't have an excavation explosion. I don't really want to deal with double obelisk engineers if it goes to game 3, but we'll see. Okay, they will make the attacks there and I will make the blocks here. Okay, that just happens then, I guess. And then what else? Huh. Well, 2 life ain't gonna help me. So they just had that. Alright. Disenchant deals with the behemoth too. I don't know if it's that good. It's just a 5-mana 2/7. But man, my 1 toughness creature seems so bad when I see all these. I mean, 2 of these obelisk engineers. It's so horrible. But can I cut all of them? Because then I don't have any 2-drops. Yeah, I guess the engineers are still gonna give me a power stone, and when they use the 1 damage option, at least they don't get a power stone or make the get the +1/+1 and trample haste ability. So maybe I should do it like that. I'm gonna play the scatter ray now again. And then what else? Recommission. Okay, I'm gonna have the recommission over the mod. This is fine. I mean, I don't like the matchup at all, but
my deck is just not very good. I can't help it. But I would want to draw the take flight once, please. I haven't drawn it in any of the games. Okay, starting hand is... it's okay. The wing commander is actually good, but hopefully they don't have a removal for it immediately. Okay, they kept 7. They have 1 drop. Well, it's just the enemies, so it's not really that big of a deal. And I draw at least a spell here, which is also quite relevant. So the game they have with the 1 drop, 2 drop start, which I don't like at all. I mean, I'm on the play here, but I have a 3 drop one, they have 1 drop, 2 drop. I guess I can block the animist right now, unless they do have the excavation explosion for turn 3. They might have the hasty 3/3 also. They actually make a 4/4 attacker with from the power stone. I don't mind that much because that means they use the entire turn to deal 4 damage, which is a lot of damage. I go to 13 here, but at least they didn't develop their board now, and I have a play for the next turn. Yeah, I don't think that's the worst outcome for me. So if they do attack with Stone Seeker with all the mana up, am I gonna double block? Because if it is a giant growth or the +2/+0, or I mean, if it's any trick, guys, give the giant growth and the whirling strike. All of them means that the creature survives. Both of my things die. Yeah, I guess 2 damage. I'm gonna take the 2. I can play the Warlord's Elite on the next turn, and then I can double block this, the Stone Seeker. They might also just be willing to let this go. I would still lose both of these guys. Okay, Riposte is really good. I will kill the Stone Seeker. And what I can also do is that any attacks? I'm gonna play the Elite, tapping the Cohort and the... Yeah, I don't need the Power Blade here this turn, so I'm gonna get this pre-combat so I get the Prowess trigger here. Attack here. And do this. Firebomb. I guess they can make that into a 4/4, but it's gonna be 7. They need 2 more mana before this happens, so I don't think I mind it too much. Well, okay. They played a land and a power stone this turn, so now they need only 1 more mana. It's still gonna take the entire turn from them. This requires them... Yeah, they don't have mana to activate this, so they would have to use 2 of these guys to block the Elite. So I think what I'm doing is I'm actually going to just attack for 5 in the air, right? Okay, that is fine. Guess I can move this over to the Cohort. So if they actually animate one of these to make it a 4/4, I can trade with it. Not sure if it's a big good deal, but at least it's an option. It's not like the 1 mana to re-equip the commander is such a big deal. Now they do have the 7 mana to use the firebomb actually. So they might do that. They might want to do it now because I might have a, you know, protective spell. Laurence Escape. So that's done now. Which means they don't have the Animist up now. Which means that I can just attack into that board. I'm gonna have to trade the cohort with the 1/1 anyway, so I'm not really that concerned about that. I have the Unearth available. I can play the Engineer and I can switch around the equipment there however I want to. Well, I guess I can equip the Engineer if they want to actually make this into a 4/4. At least I can choose to block it. Again, this is a soldier, it only costs 1 mana to equip it. Okay, Mutt, discarding something. So it's gonna be about who's gonna run out of gas faster. They use the Power Stone for that. Oh man, that I didn't want to see at all. I hated to see it. Okay, well, this makes things better. I'm not sure if I want to tap down the payload, but I guess it's gonna be the better play in the end. Yeah. Let's tap it down. That allows me to attack with both dealing, you know, 2+3. I can use the cohort on a future turn, but them gaining 4 life here. The payload is just it's just such a good card. Now they can raise me because they can, you know, make this into a 4/4. They can deal 5 to me. They can also use the Mutt. They could actually deal 7 to me this turn. I go down to 6. But of course I have a lot of damage. I can have a 3 power haster and equip it 5 power haste +2 7. I can deal 7 if they have no blockers or removal, but 7 is less than 9. Well, at least they don't get, you know, to animate this Power Stone, so as long as I keep drawing some creatures. Okay, that's very good. It's fine if I keep drawing creatures. So do I have mana for all of these? No, I cannot equip the Power Blade here. Well, I don't think it actually matters that much, so I'm gonna play this and do this. The infantries they have, they actually are giving them a lot of life because they have these double blocks from them. But I guess they did use one of the infantries to deal with my unearthed creature, so not so bad. I still have a flyer in the deck. They have 6 lands. Okay, 2 of them are in the graveyard, so yeah, they have 8 lands, and yeah, they have a pretty normal mix of lands and spells, so they could have 2 spells in their hand still. Okay, Explosion only deals with that. I'm actually happy that they didn't have any better attack. That was just a 1/1 token they killed with the Explosion. Deadly Riposte isn't going to be anything too good here now. Now they can make this Power Stone into a 4/4. That is a problem, of course. The Animist is going to be a problem now. Because they can just trade the Power Stones. Can I somehow deal with the Animist? I mean, if I get an involuntary cooldown, yes. In that case I can. Because I can equip this thing and attack, trade with either the Power Stone or the 1/1. I don't think it's that good though.
Yeah, actually the worst part of this thing is that they got another power stone to use with the animist. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think it's really worth attacking. No, I'm gonna leave it as a blocker. At least they have to keep mana up, so that's the good thing. If they want to use the enemies, they need to leave mana up for it. Now, with the amount of power stones they have, it's not that hard to leave 3 mana up and 1 untapped power stone. But I guess I'm just hoping to find my flyers. But yeah, I mean, my deck is just not very capable of dealing the remaining damage if the opponent has like some number of removal. So I can't be too sad about losing this match. This deck just isn't such a good one. Okay. They don't have an Evolving Wilds, do they? No, but they have 2 lands they can play for free. So yeah, with the Animist and with the 2/7, I need to find exactly a flyer here. And I have like 1 in the deck. Do I have more than 1? I have the 3/4. That can, help me dig into 1. I guess if I get the involuntary cooldown, that might help. Yep. Let's have this card draws like this. Supply drop would have been good a little while ago, I think, but no longer relevant because they have the 2/7 here. Involuntary cooldown won't be that great either because they can make 2 4/4 blockers out of those power stones. Yep, and then they have that. Well, at least they don't have mana for the... Okay, now if I get an involuntary cooldown, that would be so sweet. I can tap down the behemoth and the engine. Are you actually saying to me that I'm losing to multiple Goblin 5-ups? They might have sideboarded that stuff in though, which might be relevant. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the riposte isn't very good. Oh man, it's so bad. If this was just any other card. So I can attack with a tactician being a 5/4, then use the supply drop. Sure, I can try it. It's unlikely to work. Hey, maybe they take it entirely. They just jump with the 1/1. Or block with the behemoth. I don't think they care about it. They can use the firebomb to... Actually, I mean, do I lose to this thing? No, I don't think they have enough mana to deal 11, but it's close. Okay, that's that. Yeah, weird. Very weird game, but yeah, I guess when you have a bad deck, this is what happens. You can lose to all kind of things here. I don't even have that many good top decks here. I guess the Take Flight, which I never saw at any point, it could have actually helped me win some of the games I lost here. But what can I do? Sometimes you just don't draw some card. I think I still can. I mean, let's just see. If they pump, I mean, they can't really pump. I mean, they're gonna leave 7 mana up for sure. Involuntary cooldown won't be a big, but they're not. And why would they pump this at all? Because next turn they can win with it anyway. So they can make it into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 damage. Yeah, I can't. The 2 life won't matter. So. Yeah, even the involuntary cooldown would not help at all. They can make these into blockers, use the firebomb. Even with the supply drop I wouldn't be able to deal 7. So yeah, let's just let's just say this was one of the drafts where I don't know what I was supposed to do in the draft, but it was just such a weak packs
such weak packs. I think in the match, yeah, game 3 of match 2, I conceded a turn too early. I could have, with very lucky draws from, I mean, if opponent drew badly and I drew well, extremely well, I still had a shot at winning the game and the match because it was game 3. So that was, I mean, this still could have been a 2-match win deck. But look at this, I mean, the amount of mediocre cards. Riposte bad, Scatter Ray bad, Mindworker bad, Medics, usually quite bad, but I had some synergy, but still bad. Take Flight is good, but I never saw it. Yeah, this deck just didn't have any. What was the good stuff? I guess the Tactician with, 7 other soldiers was like okay, but still, this is like a below mediocre deck. But I don't think I did anything wrong in the drafting phase. It just seems like the packs were extremely weak, and I could have maybe drafted green, but after taking the Mask of the Jade Crafter, I maybe didn't quite see enough good green cards to kind of move into it, because I had still the blue cards with the Take Flight and the Tactician, and what made me to move into blue eventually, I think it was something like seeing the Wing Commando at some point, maybe a Subjugation, which are good blue cards. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna upload all the drafts I record, of course, and this was just maybe a good because my previous drafts, a lot of my previous drafts have been actually good decks, and I have had 2 wins and 3 wins there, quite a bit, and now I have this 1 win event, which definitely wasn't because I was unlucky with my draws. My deck was just mediocre, and this 1 win was completely a result you could expect from such a deck, and that's just, of course, something that happens every now and then when even if you try to draft the best deck you can, sometimes that deck just isn't there. I mean, the best deck is just very bad, and then you don't really need much, good stuff from your opponents to still not have much chance in the games. So that was it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.